Hi! I think I've done it properly this time. Talking Bollocks Part 7. I think I've actually managed to do live, just not only to myself, but to other people too. So hopefully it's coming up soon. Oh, hey Chris, how you doing? So my youngest would like to be a guest on the show, apparently. Hello, Imogen, who's watching and in my bedroom. All right, so here's Elliot. Say hello then. Hey.
Hello.
Oops, come here. Come in. What would you like to say then if you wanted to be a guest?
I just wanted. I didn't plan that far.
Okay, great. We'll come back in 10 minutes then and think of something.
I'm not going to come back in 10 minutes. I got busy stuff to do.
Okay, go on off and get you busy stuff then, Elliot. So, yeah, so didn't do Talking Bollocks Part 7 yesterday because I wasn't feeling very well. I don't actually know what day it is. Thursday. So Tuesday night I started with getting a headache and feeling shivery. Still don't feel 100%. I feel a bit spaced out still, more than usual. But here I am. I'm back with ya. I don't know how everybody's doing. I went and sat in the car for 10 minutes and ran the engine earlier across the road from my house. And yeah, it felt like I was out going to the car. But also I realised how much I'm still not feeling 100% when I hung up some washing. And it absolutely knackered me, out. That's really bad English. But anyway, yeah. So I think boredom sat in yesterday. I ended up doing a meditation really in the evening after the Korean Buddhist Centre had posted it. It sort of froze, but it did help going to sleep. And I think because it is so out of the ordinary, your brain just doesn't get a chance to actually kind of do the normal settling routine of what it normally does. But following on from what I was talking Bollocks Part 6 was the whole I was talking about green flags and red flags, and also about what I'd learned from my last previous relationship. But also what I realised is after that relationship finished, I'd gone away for a weekend and spoke to a friend, and she didn't know what she knew what it meant, but she didn't know what it meant in terms of how I was using it. And that is that bottom lines and boundaries are really important, and they should be important for your own relationship with yourself and relationship especially with other people. So red flags and green flags are all about what we notice, we're receiving, and bottom lines and boundaries are what we should want and what we need. So, for example, in any future relationship, I would like if they could cook and drive, just because I've driven a lot for other people. But also, they're just wants. They're not actual bottom lines or boundaries. So a bottom line would be my kids mean everything to me, and everything comes after them. So that's the bottom line. So somebody that, for example, I don't want any more children. I've got enough. They don't need another dad and they don't need another mum. They've got enough of those. But what they do have is me. And so therefore it is a bottom line. Anybody that doesn't accept that I have children doesn't and couldn't possibly accept me for who I am, because they're an important part of my life. And that can be big and little things, bottom lines and boundaries. So another bottom line is, how do you want to be spoken to in public? How do you want to be spoken about? What is private for you within a relationship? And once you start looking at bottom lines and boundaries, it's very interesting how often we don't think of these, which is interesting because in any recipe you look at what's needed and what's wanted and what we would like to put on a plate, what we would like served up to us. And I don't know why we don't do with relationships. Why do we not take a relationship as sort of bottom lines and boundaries of what we want in them, and add into the recipe, the mix of what we want for these, the whole thing of what it is that we require. So I'm quite stroppy, so I quite like when people make jokes and something that makes me laugh is worth their weight for me, because I don't find a lot of things very funny. I'm a bit of a moody cow sometimes, I would say. But someone that is silly without being demeaning and putting me down is actually really important. And somebody that is able to laugh at themselves as well, because I do try and laugh at myself, especially when I am being a stroppy, moody bitch. When you actually start to sit down and actually start to think about what we actually want and what we need, and I touched on this on number 6 as well, if you are actually to write a list, it looks really kind of a bit arsey, but actually it's really important, because different things are important for different people. Like, for example, in any future relationships, and it's not that I am gagging for any future relationships, I'm not. I'm really happy being single, actually. And there's time for all of that, because the biggest relationship that I'm in right now is with myself, and actually purposely thinking about how to make my own life better and how to give to myself and give to my relationship with myself, because at the end of the day, even if when you are in a relationship with other people, what you have primarily is you. And so when you start to actually sit down and really think about what it is that you require, want, need, red flags, green flags, the whole boundaries, the bottom lines, they're different for everybody else. And of course they're going to be, I'm 46 years old. I don't want any more children. But it does have to be somebody that is, would be fairly family minded. Because my children are a big part, maybe they will eventually have their own children, so therefore they're going to have to understand that, if I had grandchildren eventually, and I mean eventually, Imogen, that they are going to be a massive part of my life. My family is a massive part of my life. So also, family orientated is very important to me. Not only that, is the food. I really enjoy food. I enjoy it especially when somebody else cooks the food and I can eat it. Also going out. I love to go out, and I love doing different things and going out. So I guess some of the people that I tend to surround myself with go, hey, let's go do something. And actually I did start an Instagram called Say Yes to Jenny. Hey Tess, lovely Tess's idea was say yes to Jenny, because I was just like, just say yes to me, will you? And I can't remember what it was about. It might have been before we went out to dinner one night. Oh God, what is the place called? The Arches underneath London Bridge. I think it might just be called the Arches. And we went out to dinner, and basically it was 4 or 5 semi-naked women dancing on the table. And Tess is like, I'm just going to say yes to you from now on, because it's like, it's easier to, and we just don't know what to do. And I think that's a good idea. Saying yes to things that we don't know what they are and they don't know what they're going to bring to us is often quite a nice idea, because you know what? You don't know until you try something. It was the dinner. Tess is saying it was the dinner. So this dinner was like, so I started this Instagram. Okay, I need to go back. Kate, I can see what you have typed. Hi, Katie. So we went for this dinner, and this dinner was actually really nice food. Sort of the gymnastics routine from these women was amazing as well. So it was quite random and an amazing experience. But I started this Instagram called Say Yes to Jenny, because often we do things. We just go live our everyday lives, and we just do things, and we continue to do things without thinking about why we do them. And it's fine. It's okay. Obviously everybody does things differently, but when you just do something that is just without thinking about it ever, and just going through life without actually making any changes or making any things, and that's fine. Don't make changes if you're happy. That's great. I think that's a really good point, actually. Don't make changes to the things that are okay. But this Instagram on Say Yes to Jenny was just this idea of just go and try something. Just give it a go. Just be able to be open to a new experience, and you can hate that experience and never do it again, but at least you've done it. I mean, for an example, I really dislike heights, and for somebody that actually has done a parachute jump, never done a bungee jump, and I won't, really likes roller coasters, like I really love roller coasters. I did go ape for the youngest child's birthday, for somebody's birthday, and then for the youngest child's birthday. And the first time I did it, it was quite exciting, and I was absolutely terrified. You know, you're 30 to 40 foot up in the air, attached by a harness that's attached to something, what looks like to me like thin wire. And yeah, it takes your weight and it takes everybody else's weight, but it's just the absolute fear of it actually, you know, just being up that high. But I did it anyway because I sort of got dared to do it, but I also wanted to dare myself to do it, just get on with it and do it anyway. And the second time I did it, I was actually more scared. I realised that not only did I really, really hate it, is that I really, really, really hated it. And I've got to say, I'll never do it again. I really will never go up on a Go Apes course again. I don't mind going up when you go up ladders and then you come down on the zip line, but that's it. But crawling up, you know, vertical ladders on trees when you're 40 foot up in the air and going across what is basically what looks like a barrel of wood to get to a platform, it's not my thing. It's really not my thing, but I tried it twice to know that it's really not my thing, and that's okay. I don't have to ever do it again. I was looking at a zip line in Las Vegas, which at the moment is not happening, which is about 150 foot long. I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Because zip lines and roller coasters are over within seconds. You're not kind of feeling like you're a little bit stuck up there. So I guess it's important to balance what is an actual fear and what is a fear of the fear of itself. Because sometimes we fear things without actually having a founded fear. You know, I fear heights. I don't even like climbing up very high, like 6 foot ladders even. It's just a thing, and that's my thing. I don't like it, and I don't think I ever will. It's not something I'm going to suddenly get over, but I do still go on roller coasters because even though they're high, they are fast and they make my blood pressure higher, so I think that's why I like them. Anyway, so trying something because we're fearful of it is okay. But we have to do it when we're ready. When other people are trying to talk us into doing things, that's fine. But we have to understand that everybody has their own agendas. Not that agenda is a bit of a harsh word for it, but everybody has their own kind of idea of how their life should go. Often life and relationships are incredibly confusing and very up and down. It's a very weird thing, isn't it, relationships? You know, there's people out there that I know that have been married since they were teenagers, and it's all great. You know, they've worked at their relationships, but their relationships are good. And there's other people like me that I know that are, you know, have been on their third partners. But that's all learning and loving, isn't it, really? My most important thing that I ever learned was actually to love myself and to... It's gone. You back? Hopefully you're back, because it keeps stopping. Signal keeps being really crap. I hope that you are all finding ways to get through this at the moment. I finished a blanket last night, and this is this is for a cat charity. So it's not very big, but I gave it a thrill. Apparently there is a cat charity that give cats their own blankets when they rescue them, and then when those cats are adopted properly, they when those cats are adopted, they get to take their blankets with them to their new homes, which I think is really cute. Anyway, guys, gonna keep on talking bollocks. I hope you're all okay. I hope you're all doing all right. Hopefully, I'm hoping that I'll be able to go out on Sunday because the weather's supposed to be really nice. Gonna obviously do the social distancing thing. Hoping to send the eldest child out to get cheese and bread later, because we seem to go through it like an enormous amount, and crisps, obviously. You know, if you know me well and my family, you know that we all eat a lot of crisps. There can be sweets in the cupboard for months and months and months, but it's a crisp thing. Just quickly as well, anybody that is in the local area in Croydon, Addiscombe fruit and veg place did an amazing delivery to us on Tuesday. The biggest peppers that we've ever seen. So, go go give them a call on the Facebook page. Ask them Fruit and Veg. They have a number to call for orders, and I think your order is delivered 3-4 days later or so. We've got a great big bag of potatoes, of which I'm trying Marmite potatoes today. So if any of you love Marmites, Imogen's laying on my bed at the moment. She's giving me a dirty look because she thinks they're going to take fucking awful. But she doesn't have to fucking eat them, does she? All right. Anyway, my lovelies. See you on the flip side. Bye.